Good day, Annie.
Hey, Stephen. Good to see you again.
It's good to see you as well. And the first thing I'm just going to do, just while we get set up, is just to share out the post. But can you sort of, whilst I'm doing that, sort of talk about repurposing and Repurposed.io in specific as to what the system does and what you're doing now?
Yeah, absolutely. Just kind of keep it very brief, but the whole idea is to create the content once. The idea of repurposing is to create the content once and distribute it to different platforms. Whether you're doing live streams, whether you're doing podcasting, doesn't matter, audio, video, live video. You want to create the content once and get it out to different channels so different types of people can see it. For example, not everyone's on Facebook, but if it's, from my experience, we have about 850 users so far. And
right.
The two common scenarios are your Facebook Live, you're a live streamer on Facebook, will take that video and have that automatically sent to YouTube. That's the, live streamers, that's the number one workflow. There's a few secondary ones, converting that to audio and, repurposing that to an audio. And I'll talk a little bit about that later if we have time.
Yeah, surely.
But Facebook Live to video, Facebook Live to YouTube is critical because Facebook Live is awesome in the beginning, gets your attention in the beginning, and then you lose that. You go down the feed and you lose that. But YouTube gives it more life. So that's the idea. And if you're a podcaster, it's the other way around. So you're taking an audio format and you're making that audio into a nice looking, engaging video, something where you can tell it's a video, not just a static image, and have that sent to both YouTube and to Facebook. And the interesting thing is I'm getting a lot of feedback and a lot of data saying that Facebook is giving people a lot more exposure than YouTube. So a video on Facebook, like a video version of their audio podcast on Facebook gets a lot more views than a video version on YouTube, which to me makes sense. There's still a factor of how many people are actually engaging and interacting. That's a different story, but it's interesting that a lot more people are getting more views on Facebook for their audio podcast as a video, compared to YouTube, which I found pretty interesting.
Yeah, in giving people something visual to watch.
Yes.
And it keeps them on the page, which is, it's watch time that's the key, isn't it? You can get people to go and visit a video, but to actually keep them there, you need to engage them. And whilst they will listen, if they can watch something at the same time. So I'm all in favor of that as well. Yeah. Now, you just mentioned amazing growth because you've gone from, last time we talked, you had 600 users, and now you've got 850.
Yeah, close to 850 now. So signed up. So the word is spreading, and people are signing up and giving it a go, trying it out. So I'm happy to see that. I'm getting a lot of awesome feedback in terms of what areas we can work on, what areas we can improve, and but just as a kind of growth from number of users signing up, I'm happy. I'm glad to see that people are discovering it, and more importantly, people are getting value out of it. There's no sense of having a product that invest a lot of time and heart into it, and you don't feel like you're contributing. People, obviously you make products, it costs money, it's a business, right? But at the end of the day, more importantly is you're giving value. You're giving, either you're saving somebody time or you're getting them the exposure that they want for their content in a simple or minimal number of steps. And that's the key here, is minimize the amount of effort you put into this and giving you the maximum reach from your content.
And people are greeting each other. So this is networking. This is brilliant.
Awesome.
Yeah, the thing is, on a personal note, I download the video from Facebook, I upload it to YouTube, but it's got my hard drive, it takes up space, whereas Repurposed.io, there's no this space involved, is there? You're actually going straight from Facebook to YouTube.
That is actually a very good point, is that basically going from, you don't have to have even your computer on when this happens. So you set everything up on Repurposed. It's a website, so there's no software to install. Hey, Kim, good to see you here. Sorry, I get sidetracked with comments. So everything happens on our servers, which means that there's no software to install on your computers. There is no nothing to do on your computer, meaning you'll go to a web browser, connect everything, means allow access to your YouTube and Facebook accounts, set up the rules, we call them workflows, and then you can either have it go auto publish, or you can log in every day and control when that video goes. You hit one button, it'll send it off to YouTube, or hit another button, send it off. So you have two modes of operation that you can use. But the idea is nothing. It's not costing you computer time. You don't see your fan running wild when you're downloading. Your internet bandwidth doesn't cost you. It costs you $0 for internet. Like in terms of, you're not downloading hundreds of megs and uploading hundreds of megs. So everything's happening off your computer, which is actually, I'm glad you mentioned that, because some people have that question in mind.
Yep, and it saves time as well. As I say, downloading and uploading takes time, and you're transferring not just the video, but you're transferring the title, you're transferring the description, you're transferring the picture that's been chosen. All of that's going across to YouTube, which means that, and the tags as well are transferred. So when you go across to YouTube, you've just got a bit of tidying up to do. You don't have any real work to do.
Yes.
And it all happens automatically. Now, just come into the automatic, because last time we talked, I told you about the way I was doing it, and basically that was to do the live video, which we're doing now. Then after the live video is finished, I go back to the Facebook post, this Facebook post, and I edit it to be in the past tense. Okay, so the one now says we're going to be live at 12 p.m. Eastern. It will say we were live. This is what we talked about. Then when I'm happy with the post, happy with the photograph I've chosen, I just put a tag in there, which is #repurpose. And once that tag's in there, repurposed.io starts to do its work and transfers it automatically, everything included, right across to YouTube.
Yes, that is probably one of the most ninja tricks I've ever seen someone come up with on their own. It's just really brilliant. And I tell people about this trick, and I said, because it is a common problem. You want to edit the video after you go live. You don't want it to go to YouTube right away. If you don't want it to go right away. You want to be able to tweak the title, the description. If you're doing it from a Facebook page, I think you can even upload your own custom thumbnail. So you want to do a little bit of cleanup before it goes to YouTube. Otherwise, you're cleaning up Facebook and then you're cleaning up YouTube.
Yeah.
So we have this feature called the hashtag filter, which means you can say, don't do anything until you see this hashtag in the description. And what this does, it gives you a chance, no pressure. It gives you a chance to log in whenever you want, tweak your description on Facebook. And then when you're ready, you put that little hashtag in there. It's whatever hashtag you want, you define it. And then that will trigger Repurposed to grab that video and do its magic. That way you have enough time to clean up the show before it goes on YouTube.
Right. Now we've got two questions from people who are watching. I want to say hello to Dax. And his quick query for Repurposed: when it auto-publishes, does it allow lateral editing?
Not sure I understand lateral editing, but my interpretation of the question is once it's on YouTube, it's a video on YouTube, so you can edit it manually as needed directly on YouTube, just like any other video. And kind of what we talked about a few minutes is you can, if you don't want to do the editing twice, meaning you don't want to edit it on Facebook and edit it on YouTube, you can use the feature called the hashtag filter, which lets you kind of delay the process, which means get on Facebook, edit the video on Facebook first, put a special hashtag, and then only then will that video go to YouTube, and only then will it take the new title and new description onto YouTube as well.
I think that the point is that you're in total control of the process.
Yes.
You're not giving carte blanche to Repurposed.io to do it all without your intervention. So you're in control. Yeah. At this point, I'd like to say that I'm glad that today that we're joined by Bill Vick. And Bill is coming in to join us. Good day, Bill.
Hello.
Hello, Stephen. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. And you?
I am so good, it's scary.
That's awesome.
Right. Have you the two of you met before?
I don't think so.
Not. No, I've not had the pleasure.
Yeah, it's been great meeting you.
Okay. Well, in that case, Annie, please meet Bill, and just say a bit about where you are. That's probably the best way to introduce yourselves.
Well, I'm in Dallas, Texas. That's easy. I can talk, Annie. I can talk funny if I have to. So, where are you located?
I'm based in just outside of Toronto, Canada. So
Really?
got my own accent going. So
love Toronto. Yeah, spent a lot of time up there for various purposes. But yeah, love the city.
Oh, very nice, very nice.
Cool.
Great. Great to meet you.
Stephen, I talk to so many people in the UK every day that I'm starting to affect an accent.
Wow. Well, what can I say?
Really?
When you come and visit us, you fit it straight in. No problem at all.
Yeah.
And thank you for that answer just now, Annie. It was a good answer. And Bill, do you have any questions for Annie or about repurposing or?
Well, you know, I've loved getting exposed to Belive and what it's doing and how it's happening, and I think like many newbies, which I am, we kind of struggle with some of the nuances of distribution and collaboration, all the things we all face. But on repurposing, and I heard your short discussion about using YouTube videos and editing and playing with them. Mm-hmm. Is there any, from your knowledge, is there any way to dynamically change or use, as an example, green screens with Belive or a product like Belive, or is that just not going to happen?
So you mean like doing it on Facebook, and then when it goes to YouTube, it has a different.
Well, like right now, I have a green screen, which I don't, and like I can do that with Zoom as an example. There's some products I can do that with, and have a live discussion or collaboration or webinar, and have a green screen, which is really useful. There's a fellow here in the States, Steve Dotto, up in fact, he's in your part of the country.
Yeah.
And Steve does great videos, and he extensively uses green screen technology. So if he's explaining a concept, you can see Steve, a little kind of a profile of Steve, while in back of him, the screen becomes his screen, and he can explain what he's doing. And it's really well done and I think very effective. Something I'd like to do. I'd like to do it with Belive if that's possible. If there's some way to enhance the system, plug in something, use some other intermediary technology or tool.
Yeah, I mean, we've looked at Minicam, but that's on Windows, and you're on Apple.
I'm on Mac, and I've had problems doing Minicam, and I tried a few other products like that purport to do that, but they just don't seem to do it.
Now, another of our Belivers actually bought a C922 camera.
Oh, okay.
Because that's got built-in hardware technology to do the green screen.
Oh, that's interesting.
Okay.
I'm using my built-in Mac camera. OBS, Robert. My feeling is I tried to play around with OBS, and I didn't see where I could gracefully and easily, as a kind of a semi-technical guy, get it working. I just had some problems with it, and the documentation is a little bit obtuse, at least for guys like me.
What's needed, and Dax, I'll come to your second question in a moment. What's needed is something which is like Repurposed.io. It works out of the box. It's got instructions, and it's got a Udemy course as well. Best mention that while we're on. And you can actually get to grips with it without having to become a rocket scientist. Right.
Like your Udemy stuff, as an example, Stephen, is great for that kind of a thing. But there's things that now that I've gotten my feet in the water, I want to jump in and start swimming. And to do that, it's difficult.
Yeah. I don't have, I can't talk on Belive's, on behalf of Belive or anything, but I think, can you do it? Maybe Stephen knows. Can you do it with the split screen option? Kind of having one screen. It's not exactly what you're talking about, but you can have one screen showing your face and one
screen. You're saying a screen share. You can do a screen share. Yes, I've done it that way. It's not.
Is it clear enough? Is it clear enough that you?
It's okay. It's okay. But if you ever at some point, take a look at Steve Dotto, D-O-T-T-O. Steve.
Yeah, I remember his video. It's literally like the whole screen. It's
he does the whole thing.
It's
really effective. Very effective.
Yeah.
I think but he's recording and he's using a product. I believe he's using Screen Share, Mac product like Camtasia, and it's very effective. Very effective.
Yeah. I wonder, does Belive allow streaming a recorded video?
No, you can't. Well, you can do it by doing a screen share, but then the sound has got to go through your speakers, and it's not the same quality as we have now.
Got it.
So that's the problem. There are other applications that do allow video. I was using one earlier today, broadcasting to YouTube. But in terms of, okay, and Anna, thank you for watching. Take care. I'll see you again soon.
Thank you, Anna.
There is, I mean, you're looking for something that goes as a backdrop.
Yeah.
And you'd think it'd be easy to do. Annie, I don't know. I mean, we don't know what Belive are up to until they tell us. So, that said, anything's possible. If there are enough people who actually ask for it, then they will take a look at it because they're led by customers. We know that they listen to us. And like say hello to Raven. And Raven and I have done shows together. And Raven is on the East Coast. So there, Raven. So definitely good morning, Raven. And Robert is bringing up the point that to use Belive this way, you would need a third-party software. I think this whole thing of green screens, what's the particular application you've got in mind, Bill?
Well, as an example, if I'm doing I'm trying to explain a complex process or project or program or idea or something, and I might want to use a demo. It could be for Belive. If I want to explain to my user base or a group how to use Belive, I can try to do that with graphics or explanation. But wouldn't it be nice if I had my little talking head at the bottom of the screen, and my screen becomes my slideshow presentation?
Mm-hmm.
I can kind of pop in and pop out based on my will or change that. So just traditional green screen technology with a green screen chroma key, where I can lay into that chroma key anything on my screen I want to. It would really be, I think, a positive thing. I know it's complex. I know it's difficult to do from the standpoint of a product and adding it in. But I compliment Belive. I think they've done a great job so far. For a small company, I think they're very innovative and responsive. I love what they've done on the transparent overlays you can do.
Yeah.
I haven't found a big use for those personally, but people do. Or putting in logos, which I use extensively, particularly when I'm interviewing somebody in a company. I'll always feature their logo as an example, and we'll slide in and out their graphic presentations if they have something to talk about. I find that more effective than using screen share. It's a little better, a little easier. But a green screen would accomplish all those things.
Indeed. So if you're listening, BeliveTV, you have votes here for a green screen in the next update of Belive. If not this month, perhaps October.
We'll give them 2 weeks.
In fact, we can give them until October 14th, because October 14th is the first anniversary of. Do you remember, Annie? On the 14th of October 2016, what you posted on Facebook?
Oh, that was in the live marketing group. That's when Live went nuts.
Well, no, you did go nuts because that you were the person who introduced BeliveTV to the wider world.
I can't take all. I mean,
well, you
indirectly, not knowing, I guess. I was just sharing an awesome piece of software with the group that I was part of.
Well, that's the way it starts. That's the way that people get involved. That people see something, and as soon as you said that these guys are doing 2 people on screen side by side, not picture in picture, and it just works, then people went wild. And tonight is Rachel Moore is on at 3 p.m. Eastern, and Rachel was the first person to go side by side on BeliveTV. I claim to be the second. And she's just a shout out. If you're watching now and you around at 3 p.m. this afternoon, Rachel Mourra is on a new show, and I'm sure she'd be happy if you could join her.
Very cool. It's funny because I met Daniel. Someone else introduced me to Daniel, and we had an interview. And like we talked for about an hour on Belive. It was a private group, but we just talked, and I was blown away. I was like, "This is awesome!" And then I just posted a screenshot in that Facebook group, in the live marketing groups, and I think people. I mean, it just shows that they fill the need that people had wanted, right? Well, that's all credit to them. They solved the problem that everybody was having really well.
I mean, that was it. We came from Blab disappeared virtually overnight, and everybody was left in a vacuum with nobody to fill it. And you announced Belive, and everybody sort of went on board, and it's grown like wildfire. I mean, we in the Belivers group, that's now 2,900 members, and soon celebrate 3,000. But that's the tip of the iceberg, because there are tens of thousands of people using the software. So absolutely brilliant. And I don't know what's going to happen, but I think you should now write the 14th of October in your diary.
Yes,
because Belive may all day. Now I know it's on a Saturday, but that may well be a special celebration by BeliveTV. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, I'll mark my calendar right now.
Stephen, I hate to have to go, but I do have to go. And it's great. Really nice meeting you.
Likewise, Bill. Very great to meet you.
Keep doing all you do, Steve, and you're helping all of us live better lives.
Bill, thank you. Take care. I'll see you again soon.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And Dax is just commenting that it's 11 days after his birthday, and that's good. Okay, and we now know your birthday, so your birthday is on the 3rd. Right, and to come to Dax's second question, I'm just scrolling down a bit. And the second part of the problem is we've been facing is text captioning of live videos.
Live video, okay. So yeah. Basically, yeah, I'm assuming that you've got the Facebook Live, you've uploaded a caption to it, and it'd be nice to transfer that caption to YouTube. Is that my interpretation of the question correct?
Well, I know. I'm just the second part of the problem we've been facing is text captioning of live videos. Okay. Now that could be taken two ways. One is the captions that are got on the videos, and the second thing is the one where it actually goes the text. Are we on the same page?
Yeah, I think he just responded. So correct. So I mean, assuming that you've taken the time to get it transcribed properly or corrected the auto transcription onto Facebook. I was looking into the possibility of grabbing that correct this transcription and uploading that to YouTube as part of the video. In theory, according to document, it is doable. From what I've when I tinkered around with it maybe about a month ago, it was not getting me the transcription, so I couldn't get the transcription off of Facebook. So I don't know. I mean, in theory, it is possible, and maybe there's something that's going to be either fixed or improved on Facebook side. But as soon as it's available on Facebook through their API, so that we can through our software talking to Facebook directly, if we can grab it, then it's easy to send that to YouTube. So that's something that's been on our radar. It's it's on there. I've tinkered with it. I haven't successfully been able to get a transcript. Maybe I was not doing it properly, but short answer is it is doable in theory based on all the documentation. And it is something that we are going to look at as well. It's been requested a few times.
Yeah.
Transcripts are important.
But true, because there is an audience out there who would appreciate the transcripts.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people watch when silent, and by default it's silent, right? By default, I don't know how it is now, but it used to be where Facebook defaults to no sound. So if you're scrolling the feed and you see a video and you see text, might be more engaged to kind of stop, maybe unmute and listen. So that's the idea. But yeah, that's definitely on the radar. Okay. It's a great suggestion.
Right, and we have a wish. And he's saying maybe we'll go to 4 people on screen on their birthday. Hint, hint.
Hint, hint.
Well, I did a show yesterday, and there were 3 on screen and 2 in the lobby, and I was trying to sort of, and it gets very difficult because once you've gone off screen as the host, which you can do, you can just produce the show, then nobody knows what your next move is going to be. Yeah. So you can play musical chairs, taking people off and putting other people on, but you've got to try and do it. I was well known for taking people off halfway through a sentence.
Oh no!
I've stopped that now. I do tend to time it a bit better, but I'm wary of that. Right, okay. So everybody's watching them all at the moment. If you could share, then it'd be good. And we'll just we've been going half an hour, so we'll just take a short advertising break. Off of yes, the top right hand corner of your screen. I'll just take it full screen for a moment so Annie and I can take a second or two. You can still hear me, I'm still talking. Is Belive in 5. Belive in 5 has a course on Udemy which is free to all BeliveTV users, and if you want to take the course, then just search for BeliveTV on Udemy. You'll find it. It's got over 2,100 students, and we've had in the past couple of months 150 nearly 5-star reviews and an average of 4.83, which we're very proud of, and long may that continue. So that's the course. If you're watching us and you think I'd like to go live, then if you contact us on Belive in 5 on Facebook, then we can help you with a 15-minute mentoring session, and we're more than happy to do so. So that's the advert over. I'll take that down off screen, and we're back. Now, there's one thing that I firmly believe in is if a software company creates a piece of software that works, they are due the rewards for doing it, which brings us to a topic of the day, which is not related to Repurposed.io, but it's related to a piece of software called Relay That by our good friend Craig Carpenter. And essentially what's happening is that it is a paid service, but there's a freemium version, and the freemium version it's a fantastic design tool, isn't it?
Oh, it's great.
For creating graphics for YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all the sizing's done. Comes preloaded. You can, even I'm nowhere near graphic. I'm graphically challenged. I can use it. I can actually create a card. So that speaks volumes. But if you can catch it, and if you want to check out the site yourself, I'll just post a link for that. But I think that I'd love your take on this, Annie, because I'm trying to find the bottom of this feed. I love your take on it while I sort of go and post a comment.
Well, first, I had the privilege of meeting Craig when he was starting this project. Actually, he was in the podcasting space. I was in the podcasting space, and we met that way. He's a podcaster, and the tool was designed to help podcasters promote their podcast. But I know we've had several phone calls. He's put his whole heart and soul into this, and obviously some investment as well, right? So it's whether Craig or not Craig, the point is when someone develops good software, it's expensive. It takes time, effort, and passion. So when someone takes advantage of it, it's demotivating for the person who created the software. But in reality, it's going to happen, right? The person, like, my take on it is, like, I've seen similar people kind of like do things with Repurposed that are kind of shady, like right. Taking advantage of the system.
Okay.
My personal take on it is these customers they're never going to pay.
Okay.
So not justifying that it's correct, but my take is they're never going to pay. So to stress over too much, it buries you deep. It hurts, right? It's almost like a personal attack, especially when you're the creator of the software. But you just have to kind of like say, okay, this guy's never going to pay. I'm just going to let it go. Maybe put something in the terms and conditions in case it gets really abusive. But in reality, I mean, you can reach out to them and let them know that they are, abusing the system. But in all honesty, I don't think it's worth a lot of effort and energy and focus to try to prevent people from doing that, unless it has become like a widespread problem where everyone's doing it and it's costing you, server resources and it's costing you potential customers. So my take on it is monitor it, try to let it go. Like personally, it's hard. I know I take things personally sometimes when people abuse stuff. But the focus is serving the people who are paying and making the product better. That's going to give you a lot more satisfaction, a lot more reward in the long term. That's my long-winded answer of my perspective on it.
It's a difficult call because it's as you say, it's an affront to the people who've invested time and money in it. Mm-hmm. And it's a question of what happens if you do chase people. Are you not just spending more money? I mean, but let's take just move it slightly and say that somebody tried to use Canva for the same thing and started taking Canva's watermarks off. What do you think they would do?
I mean, I don't know how big it sounds like they have a huge user base. So, I mean, I don't think you can really do much unless you make the watermark bigger in a way where it's even harder to remove, to the point where it's not really usable in a freemium model, but then you're hurting 90% of the people that are really genuinely interested in trying your product. So you got to kind of balance that out. I mean, another approach is to get rid of the freemium, because freemium can be like free trial is what I've decided to go with Repurposed, is at least limited by time or number of images, etc. That way, they're not abusing the system forever, and they're going to be limited. So maybe going to a free trial model might help, but it depends. If it's just one person doing it, not one person, like a small percentage of people doing it, it may not be worth your energy and time. But if it's becoming a repeated problem, then maybe switching the model to maybe not allowing freemiums anymore, switching to trial.
Which is a neat segue, because you mentioned the word trial there. What is the trial on Repurposed.io?
Repurposed.io right now, it's not actually time, it's actually episode driven. So meaning you can publish 4 episodes to anywhere you want. So whether you're doing a podcast to YouTube, podcast to Facebook, live stream to YouTube, so you can experiment with all. Hook up your Dropbox, your SoundCloud, all the different channels, make as many workflows as you want, but you can publish 4 episodes. And the idea was to get people a chance to try it out. And it's my response so far is it's 4 seems short, but you usually know, like if within 4 episodes you've tried it out, this workflow, like the way I did it is easy enough. I like it. I like the result. Or it's not for me, I'll move on. So it's meant to be kind of short on purpose, because but not limiting in what you can do. So you can do all types of conversions and channels, but in the future, people have requested make it a little bit longer, maybe up to 10 episodes. So I am considering that to expand the demo, but I'm happy to say, like I've got that request maybe 1 or 2 times only. It's been a heavy request. People are either, yes, this is for me, I'll try it, I'll pay for 1 month and I'll give it a go. Or nah, I didn't like the way it worked, or I don't like this, I'm out. And which is fine. I'm happy with that. Like, I don't want this to be a process where it's something you gotta be like stressing over it. Either you love it or you hate it.
That's black and white.
Black and white. You're in or you're out.
Now, if we can just recap on where you're going from and to at the moment in terms of transfer.
Yeah, right now it's Facebook Live or Facebook video, like a pre-uploaded video, to YouTube, to SoundCloud as an audio, to Dropbox or Google Drive as either audio or video. So if you want to back up the data or you want to manually edit it later for a different purpose. And the other kind of side of things is a podcast. Audio podcasts can be converted to videos and go to YouTube. Converted to videos, go to Facebook. It can be uploaded as an audio to SoundCloud, or as an audio or video can be sent to your Dropbox or Google Drive. So we haven't expanded the connections yet. We've been working on Twitter. We've been working on Libsyn, which is one of the biggest podcasting hosts. And the interesting thing is a few people have asked, they want to go Facebook Live to podcast and direct. And that's kind of the big thing that we're working on now is go do a live here, have it go to Libsyn. Well, Libsyn is one of the first ones we're going to integrate. So that it shows up on your podcast feed, which means it shows up on iTunes and Google Play, etc. So to seamlessly send the audio to your podcast host, and starting with Libsyn is the one we've been working on. We've had some challenges, but we're getting there. We're getting there.
Right, and I can attest to service, and I would like to say hello, as we're joined by a second guest, Hani, and
love it.
Okay, this is good. So I want to say hello to Mark.
Hello,
good day, Mark.
Hello, Belivers.
Welcome to the show.
Why, thank you, Stephen. Good to see you again.
And you, sir. And Mark was with us yesterday on the show with David Burrows and with Vincent. So I'd like to introduce you both. Hani, who's the founder of Repurposed.io and Simple Social Press, which we will mention in a moment. Meet Mark, who, is your show today? When's your show?
Who's me?
Sorry,
Who's
Mark, when's your first show?
Oh, probably not until I get back from my trip from Gettysburg. Be leaving tomorrow. Got a 10-day trip. Then I'll be back. Hopefully around the first week of October, I'm going to fire it up and we're going to give it a go.
Nice.
I look forward to seeing it. Anyway, Hani, meet Mark.
Hey, good to meet you, Mark.
Now, the first name was what?
Hani, Hani.
Hani. Hi, Hani. And of course, my name is Mark, and it's good to see you guys. I was hoping I wouldn't have to wade through hundreds of people waiting to get on. It looks like it's just the three of us.
Perfect.
It is. There was nobody in the queue. This is
okay. Well, hey, that's a good thing. Three's the crowd, huh?
No, you're a second guest today. So we had Bill earlier. Now, you've been involved in radio.
Yes, a little bit.
Okay. So you've got sound and podcasting in common. So, Annie, would you like to explain about Simple Social Press, and then if Mark has any questions, we can move forward.
Yeah, I mean, Simple Social Press is a WordPress plugin. It's meant to repurpose your Facebook Lives to your website as blog posts.
Oh, so very cool. Very cool.
Automatically. So that same idea as Repurpose, meaning you set it up once, and then every time you go live, it shows up as a blog post with a video, and all the comments get added to your blog. So to me, I mean, I treat your website as another platform, and your website and repurposing your live streams. There's another plugin for podcasts, for YouTube videos. You know, getting the content on your site is important. So,
I like that. Yeah, because basically what you end up having to for some reason I'm getting a delay. Does somebody have their speakers on? I think somebody has their speakers on, and I'm hearing myself through. There we go.
Guilty.
Go ahead.
Sorry, Mark, carry on.
All right, go ahead. Well, I like that idea, Hani, because the blog is kind of the center of the universe, I guess, in the social milieu, and so your blog and then everything else kind of comes off of that. And I like the idea. And I don't have a regular blog, so. And there are a couple of reasons for that. Maybe I could talk to you about that, but Facebook seems to be the center of it, and then to have to go to a second platform and work with and then write a blog for that, and then you end up having to cut and paste and do all this stuff. So I like that idea of the repurposing and being able to one does the job, you do it once, and then it brings it over to the other platform. That's great.
Yeah, and to me, Facebook, your podcasts, i.e., iTunes, Google Play, YouTube, they're just channels to get exposure, but you really want to get people to your site. And I say it, I feel like a broken parrot, but a parrot or a broken record.
It's
or
a bloody broken parrot, it is.
But the idea is you want to get people on an email list, where that's when deeper engagement, products and services can be introduced to them. So to do that, the easiest way, most convenient way is through your site, as opposed to having a link on YouTube to, hey, sign up for my email list. It's just too impersonal. Like, you don't know them yet. It's like you're going through stages of relationships, and on your site, they feel like they can connect with you better.
I think it depends on the relationship, that you have with whatever it is. Some people have a personal website and they interact with their friends. Other people have a business website and they interact with prospective customers. So I think, there's two separate things. So it really depends on what your purpose is. Exactly. I'm finding, at least I found over the few years I've been working with it, is that the social networking platforms don't really lend themselves very well to doing business or selling products. They're very good at interacting with others, and they're very good at making friends and establishing a network. But when it comes to selling products, I don't see any evidence at all that it is effective at all.
I think both Annie and I can beg to differ on that one, because we sell our products through social networks.
Right. Well, I guess it depends on the product. I mean, if it's a product.
I take your point, but just there are always exceptions to every rule. I just want to make another point here in relation to the website. And that is, if you look at Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn and Twitter, they're not your turf. You don't own them. Right. If you've got a self-hosted blog, then it's yours. It's your turf, providing you're on good terms with your service provider who's hosting the blog for you, then it's there forever. So by transferring it from Facebook to your own blog, you're actually preserving things. No matter what happens anywhere else in the world, all is good. Now, I'm going to be a good host now, because I'm going to drop down for a moment, and I'm going to introduce both of you to Scott Smith. So I'm going to go down. Scott will appear. Say hello to Scott, and then carry on talking. I'll be back in a moment.
And Scott is coming up. Here he comes. There he is. Scott, we see you.
Hello, gentlemen.
Hey, Scott. Good to meet you. I don't think we've met before.
I don't think so. I'm Scott Smith from San Antonio, Texas.
Hey, great.
San Antonio. Hello, San Antonio. I'm Mark, out here in Los Angeles, California.
Hey, Mark.
And I'm Hani, just north of the border here, and just outside of Toronto, Canada.
Oh, great, Hani. Nice to meet both of you.
Right. Very cool.
You guys all look so professional with all your mics and making my little mic look so dinky here.
Yeah, well, the thing is, this isn't real. This is just a prop.
Yeah, mine's cardboard with a mystery microphone.
That's awesome.
So, what was our topic?
I guess websites versus social media. I don't know.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah,
about
selling. Well, there's a big debate. We could start on the aspect of selling from a social networking platform, which I've had very little luck with. But I think it depends on the product. I think if you're selling a product or a service that lends itself to those platforms, I think, with a great deal of time and effort and money, you can make some sales. But I don't think it really works for movies, and I don't think it works for books. And I've done a lot of research, and a lot of hundreds and hundreds of other authors and filmmakers will concur with that. And I know a lot of people personally who've tried to use these social networking platforms to sell their books and their movies, and it ain't going to happen. Yeah. So I would like to be proven wrong. I've spent hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars and many hours trying. So the reason I'm doing this now is just because I enjoy it. And starting the group for horror, fans of horror fiction, it's just a way of kind of furthering a hobby and getting people to interact with one another at a central platform rather than trying to sell any product or service.
Yeah, I feel, I agree with that. Like website, like no, social media is not, in my opinion, not for selling. It's just building awareness and almost building your brand. Like if people
brand building, yeah, I think so.
And then like the engagement, the selling would happen to me. From my experience, the best results I get are through email. Like
yes,
but to get to an email list, it's a process as well. It's not like come to my site the first time, get on my email list. You gotta keep it going.
You got to provide value. You have to provide value and good content. Yeah, and people will, especially if it's in the marketing arena or you're helping someone to market their product or service, or you're trying to help someone further. It's almost like the old mail order thing, where the best books that you sell through mail order is books on how to sell through mail order.
Yeah.
It really lends itself to that. If you're helping people make money, or you're helping them to grow their business, or you're helping them, but if it's something like entertainment, that's a different story. So much people have so many choices in those areas that they don't tend to really they don't tend to buy off of the social networks, or even people they know. I mean, they might look at your book, or they might consider reading it for free, and then you might end up with a fan that way. I've heard authors say that, but it's a tremendously long road to get fans that way. I mean, you're better off with buying a mailing list and working that than you would be trying to work social media.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're going to paid traffic, which requires a whole different skill set and testing, money to test.
Yeah, the idea of conversions and split ads and
like you need
click-throughs and all
time, or you need the resource, the financial resource to hire somebody who knows.
Yeah, right. It's an art, isn't it? It's almost an art or a science in itself.
Yeah. I've been kind of staying away from that, but I've been curious to venture into it because I've heard good results. But again, it's one of those things where you don't need to say go for the sale, you get exposure through an ad. Right. And you get clicked through to some other resource, to your website, to an email list, and then like this whole idea of a funnel. Right?
Yeah, I was just going to say
sale is bad.
Sales funnel. Although I think you do have to weigh it out in terms of time and at least in time. If you're not spending a lot of money on that, you're spending a great deal of time getting that wide group of people, and then getting them into a funnel type situation where then. But again, I think it really gets down to the actual product or service you're selling.
Exactly. What price point it is, what kind of product, are your audience on Facebook? Are they there's a lot of factors. Facebook is very good at giving you an audience, helping you build your audience and target the right people. But you need a lot of money. Not a lot of money. You need time and a little bit of money to keep testing until you get that right audience that's starting to convert. But it's not like, even I've hired people in the past and I've gotten zero results. Zero. Like going straight to a sale off Facebook is next to impossible. And my price points were very low.
And I think if you go and you ask others too, I mean, sometimes you think, oh, it's just me. I'm not doing something right. I need the right formula. I just need the right, but you go online and you find the people that have had the most success are usually trying to sell you on something that will teach you how to achieve their success. So, it's like the information sellers are out there and they're more than willing to sell you get you to drink the Kool-Aid. They're going to say, look, you're going to be, I've become enormously successful selling on Facebook. And you can learn how to do it too if you just follow my simple rules. Now, our first step is to buy this program from me, and then we'll get started on it.
Right. Now, what I'm going to do, because we're coming up towards the hour, I'm going to bring Scott back in a moment, because I'd like to have a quick chat with Scott. Mark, I'd like to say thank you for joining us today. And where can people find you?
I'm gonna remain hidden.
Oh, okay.
They cannot find me. I'm going undercover, and if I emerge, I will emerge in 10 days, and when I get back, I'll come back with a big bang, and I'll be on a show soon with you. So I'll join you when I return from my trip.
Brilliant. Have an excellent trip. Look forward to seeing you, and take care for the moment.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Right. So now I'm going to bring Scott back. Oh, no, that was the wrong button. This is live video, folks, and welcome back, Scott. Now, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you're using Belive?
Sure. I'm a co-host on a Recovering from Religion podcast, and we represent the nonprofit agency of the same name. And we release new episodes every other week, and we interview some awesome people. And the way we use Belive is to promote upcoming episodes. So if we're going to interview someone next week, we'll try to schedule a Belive conference and put it on our Facebook page. And usually we get anywhere from 700 to 800 people every time we do one of these things. We advertise it a few days out, and we get that much traffic. And of course, they ask questions and everything. And if it's a good question that we can use for the podcast interview, we'll jot it down and we'll do that. And that's how we get a lot of our questions. And it promotes interest in upcoming episodes. We try to be careful not to give them so much information they don't want to listen to our upcoming episode. That's the tricky part sometimes. But that's how we use Belive. And sometimes we'll go back if we've interviewed someone and it was really good and we think the listeners want more, then we'll try to remember the questions we didn't ask, because we always have plenty of those. And we schedule a Belive conference a week or two after an episode airs. And it continues to generate interest in the resource, the podcast, and that particular episode.
Very cool.
So it's sort of a three-step process.
Yes. And like I say, we usually get between 700 or 800 people. They all don't stay on at the same time. They kind of come and go, but I don't think we've ever dropped below maybe 200. So that's not bad.
That's great.
Indeed.
That's amazing, actually.
Yeah.
So before you came to BeliveTV, did you have a following elsewhere?
I'm sorry, say that last part again.
Before you started on Belive, had you built up an audience, fans or followers before you did the first one?
I see. Well, we've been doing the podcast for about 1.5 years now.
Okay.
We already had a pretty good fan base because of Recovering from Religion already existed probably 3 or 4 years before that. So we had maybe 6,000 or 7,000 fans on our Facebook page. So when we have a new episode, we of course put it on that Facebook page, so they're alerted there's a new episode to consider listening to. So we kind of already had the fan base. A lot of podcasts start off with no fan base at all. They get maybe 2 downloads, and that's a good day for them. But we didn't have to go from the very start. We didn't have to start from scratch. So that was pretty cool. And we've been using Belive for, I think we maybe started using it, I want to say 6 or 7 months ago, something like that.
Nice. So is your podcast audio or video podcast?
Audio.
So you use live to generate interest, to get people to listen to the upcoming episode.
Right.
Audio format. That's smart. That's a lot of effort, but it seems to be paying off.
Since we're so used to doing audio only, I have to be careful not to do the eye rolls when I hear something funny. You can't pick your nose or anything like that. So it's kind of a different animal, a little bit getting used to, but it's a lot of fun too.
That's awesome. That's great.
I've got to ask this question. Do you repurpose your podcasts?
Repurpose?
Hani, over to you.
That was a good thing. Do you get your audio podcast on other platforms like YouTube or Facebook as videos, so people can. Well, obviously you can't upload audios to Facebook or YouTube. So as a video, do you guys do that to kind of target a different audience? Or are you like, what are your main promotional methods for your podcast besides that the Facebook Live? It seems like it'd be a great tactic. It seems to be working. What about after an episode airs?
Yeah, we're on every possible place that you could find a podcast, and we just started posting to YouTube because a couple of our listeners said, "Why don't you have a YouTube channel?" It's like, well, why do we need one? And they convinced us, yeah, it's worth doing. And once we figured the code out to do it, it's very easy, and we don't have to do anything else from now on. It just automatically populates YouTube. But the way we promote the podcast is primarily through social media. We'll put new episode releases on different pages within our niche. And we also send out emails to people who subscribe to those emails, just alerting them there's a new podcast. And we also ask our listeners to, repost new episode posts and tell their friends about us and this type of thing.
Nice. That's good. You should look into Facebook as well.
I watched that bit back again, because that was most interesting, that segment that you did, Scott, because that's sort of a masterclass in how to actually gain and keep an audience. Where can people find you? Okay,
recoveringfromreligion.org. That's where you'll find all of our resources that can help people out. As far as Facebook, it's Recovering from Religion on Facebook. On Twitter, it's rfr.org. And if you want to email the podcast, if you have questions, concerns, comments, or death threats, you can email us at podcast@recoveringfromreligion.org.
Brilliant. If you can put those links as comments in the post afterwards, then people will be able to find you. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us today. Take care and see you again soon.
All right. Have a good day.
Thanks.
At least Scott is not hiding. Well, from where I'm sat, John, we're both around, but all three of us are on there. And we'll see what happens. We'll see what's happened. John's mentioning something about the replay. Right, Annie, we started an hour ago with no idea what we're going to talk about. The hour's flown by.
I know.
Thanks for your company.
Oh, it's great. I like that we're talking about different topics, and just I like the fact that we bring listeners in, because hearing what people are actually doing or what they're thinking of doing is just beneficial for everybody here.
All right, and John's expert. You see, when John makes a comment, I always think we've got technical difficulties. It's not the case. Okay.
I like that approach, going live. Scott's approach is great feedback.
Yeah, brilliant. And Robert is watching us. Hello, Robert. And it is an excellent approach by Scott and his organisation. I think we should check out how they're actually doing. If we really listen to the last 10 minutes of the broadcast today, he gave a game plan for actually marketing to your audience and keeping your audience and encouraging your audience. So thank you to Scott for that. Annie, thank you for joining me again. To everybody who's watched today, you've been brilliant as usual. But thank you for all the comments. Enjoy the replay. Annie and I will be back in October.
Sounds
probably
good.
Probably definitely on the 14th, you'll see us both, which is Belive.tv's birthday, in case you've forgotten. We'll both be pretty sure. Annie, all the best with Repurposed.io, and let's hope that when we meet in October, you've actually gone higher than the 850, because you've done 250 new users since last time we spoke.
Yeah, hope we cross 1,000 mark.
Right, okay, you heard it here first. Okay, take care, everybody. We'll see you later. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
And